Hi there, boys and girls. Welcome to Lesson 10.7, Elapsed Time. It's our final lesson for this chapter. Our essential question is, how can you solve elapsed time problems by converting units of time? Go ahead and turn in that Go Math book to Lesson 10.7 and let's begin. Now, I really want you to pay close attention to this unit of time chart to help you if you don't know some of your conversions. Let's look at question 2 to start off with. If we have 8 hours, we want to know how many minutes there are. Now remember, hours are greater than minutes, so you're going to have to multiply because you're going to have more minutes than you will hours. So let's go ahead and look at our chart. First of all, we want to ask ourselves how many minutes are in 1 hour. Let's come down here. I can see 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So if we want to know how many minutes are in 8 hours, what will we have to do? Go ahead and press pause and see if you get your answer correct. For number 2, you should have done 60 minutes times 8 hours will equal 480 minutes. Do you see how you had to multiply to get this answer? Because you're going from a large unit to a smaller unit, so you're going to multiply. All right, let's look at question 3. 30 minutes will equal how many seconds? Pay close attention to your unit chart to help you solve this problem. Go ahead and press pause now for this one. Okay, you should be able to see that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. So if you have 30 minutes, you're going to have to multiply 30 times 60 to get this answer. You should have done 30 times 60, which will equal 1,800 seconds. And let's take a look at question number 4. It says 15 hours equals how many minutes? So let's look right here about our hours and minutes. We know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, and if we have 15 hours, we want to know how many minutes that would be. Our equation will have to be 15 hours times 60 minutes will give us the total value of minutes. So what is 15 times 60? Go ahead and work this one out and then write your answer on your line. Okay, if you work this one out carefully, you should have found that 15 hours has the same value as 900 minutes. All right, let's take a look at question 5. Question 5 says, 5 years is equal to how many days? Well, let's take a look and see how many days are in 1 year. If there's 365 days in 1 year, we'd have to know how many days there'd be in 5 years. Because we're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, years are bigger than days, we're going to multiply because we're going to have more days than we will years. All right, so we have 365 times 5. Go ahead and press pause on this one and work it out. All right, if you work this one out, you should have ended up with 1,825 days would be 5 years, because 365 times 5 is 1,825. Now what about question 6? It says 7 days is equal to how many hours? So let's think. How many hours are in 1 day? I see here 24 hours equals 1 day. So how many hours would be in 7 days? Again, we're going from a big unit to a small unit. We're going to have more hours than we will days, so we need to multiply. Go ahead and solve this one now by pressing pause. Okay, right here you can see I did 24 times 7, and I multiplied, and I ended up with 168 hours. I hope you got the same answer. All right, now let's look down at question 7. If there are 24 hours, how many minutes would that be? So you need to ask yourself, how many minutes equals 1 hour? Let's look at our chart. If 1 hour has a value of 60 minutes, how many minutes would be in 24 hours? Go ahead and press pause and work this one out as well. All right, if you pause your video and work this out, you should have had 1,440 minutes has the same value as 24 hours. So in 1 day, you have lived 1,440 minutes for that day. Now last year in 4th grade, we learned the strategy of drawing a number line to help you find elapsed time. So let's look at this question. Question number 10 says, our start time is 11 o'clock. The elapsed time means how long it took was 4 hours and 5 minutes. So what would be your end time? So with this, we're going to make a number line. Go ahead and draw a number line with me for number 10. And I want you to put the start time as 11 o'clock. Now, our goal is to find our end time. So we have to have 4 hours and 5 minutes pass. We're starting with 11. And if we want to add 4 hours to 11, let's just start 1 hour at a time. 1 hour would make it 12 o'clock p.m. I'm going to put a p.m. there so I don't forget. Now another hour from my 12 o'clock would make it 1 o'clock p.m. Okay, that's only 2 hours though, so let's add one more hour. And that makes it 2 o'clock. And let's add a fourth hour. And that makes it 3 o'clock. And then it says we have to add an extra 5 minutes to this time. I'm going to make a smaller one and write 5 minutes. And that will make it 3:05 for our end time. All right, I hope this makes sense. So our end time should be 3:05 p.m. All right, let's take a look at question 13. We're going to find the elapsed time. Now we are given the start time. Our start time is 2 o'clock p.m. So let's go ahead on our number line and write 2 o'clock p.m. Now we don't know how much time has passed. That's what we're looking for. But we do know the end time is 8:30 p.m. So I will write 8:30 right on this line. All right. So we know that 8:30 is when it ends, and we want to count back to 2 o'clock. So let's go ahead and count back by, I'll go ahead and do 2 hours right here. 8:30 minus 2 hours make it 6:30. Go ahead and do that with me. Let's count back another 2 hours, and that would make it 4:30 p.m. Let's count back another 2 hours, and that would make it 2:30. Do you see how I subtracted 2 hours each time? So we have 2:30 p.m. right here. Now from 2:30 back to 2 o'clock, or from 2 o'clock to 2:30, that's just a half-hour time. So I'm going to make a little jump right here and call this just 30 minutes, also known as a half of an hour. So let's go ahead and count this up. 2 hours plus 2 hours is 4 hours, plus 2 more would be 6 hours, plus 30 minutes. So the time that passed was 6 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, let's take a look at our word problem down at the bottom for number 14. It says Kiera's dance class starts at 4:30 p.m. and it ends at 6:15 p.m. How long is her dance class? Do me a favor and press pause and try to use elapsed time using your number line to figure this one out. Go ahead and press pause right now, and then we'll check it together. Okay, so if you look right here, here's what I did. I went ahead and I knew my start time was 4:30 p.m., so I added 1 hour, which made it 5:30 p.m. I couldn't add a new hour because that would be 6:30, and that would be way too much. So I just jumped 30 minutes on mine, and that took me to 6 o'clock p.m. So far I had 1 hour and 30 minutes to make it to 6 o'clock p.m., and then I just added an extra 15 minutes, which took me to 6:15 p.m. When I add up all my times, I have 1 hour plus 30 minutes plus 15 minutes. So that would be 1 hour and 45 minutes. That's how long her dance class is. I hope you got the same exact elapsed time answer that I did. All right, let's take a look at question number 15. It says, Julio watched a movie that started at 11:30 a.m. and ended at 2:12 p.m. How long was the movie? Go ahead and make your number line here and work it out and try to solve it all by yourself. Go ahead and press pause now. Okay, if you look right here at my model, I have my start time as 11:30 a.m. and my end time is 2:12 p.m. I made one jump for 1 hour, which took me to 12:30 p.m., and a second hour took me to 1:30 p.m. I knew I could not do another third hour because that would take me to 2:30, and it doesn't end at 2:30. So I went ahead and jumped just a half an hour. That took me up to 2 o'clock, which would be 30 minutes. And from 2 o'clock, I added 12 extra minutes, which took me to 2:12. So if I were to add this up, I would have 1 hour plus 1 hour would equal 2 whole hours. And then let's add up our minutes. 30 plus 12 would be a total of 42 minutes. So the movie lasted 2 hours and 42 minutes. Okay, so here are your 2 homework questions for tonight. Take a good look at question 1 and 2, read them carefully, show your work and answer them. And at the top of the page, please assess yourself how you feel. If you feel like you're a level 1 for novice for elapsed time, or with measurement conversion with time, please write down 1 for novice, 2 for apprentice, 3 as practitioner, or 4 for expert. And we will check these homework questions tomorrow in class, and we will practice some more to get really good at elapsed time. All right, have a great night. Bye-bye.